So Martin, we've got the cameras and all the audio set up. So
Yeah.
what's your plan for the long-term review on the Skoda?
Well, I thought if we just do, you know, a little run, maybe, you know, up here. I mean, we'll just do a loop. We'll just do there and back. You know, as much content. It should take too long anyway.
What road are you planning on using so I can get some exterior shots and stuff?
I think I'm quite happy on the M1 actually. Yeah, M1.
M1.
Yeah,
Really?
I think it's just you know, it'd be good because we can compare it to other cars going past. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think one thing that I would say about this car is that someone has fitted a more modern stereo, and actually on the original Fabia it had a double din unit, which actually was very smart for its time. I think that's something that people forget, if I'm being honest with you.
Can I drop time?
Yeah.
How much further on the M1 are you planning on going? Because we've been going a fair while now.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to stop at these services, but I think maybe just a little bit further. It's just a little bit more.
Around the next junction?
There's a nice place a bit further on from there actually.
Where are we going, Martin?
Do you remember a couple of months ago we had to go on a journey?
You abducted me to go to Bradford. Where's he based? Is he in Nottingham?
A little bit just above. Yeah.
Oh, okay, like Chesterfield.
Field. Yeah, Field. Yeah.
What do you mean, Sheffield?
Huddersfield, yeah.
Huddersfield?
We're going to Huddersfield.
We're going to the road for hours. Who wants to go to Huddersfield?
Are you meant to be at work today?
Yeah. I mean, no. No.
Huddersfield, where dreams are made of and Alfas get fixed. Well, Bradford, Halifax, you know, whatever you want to call it.
Hold on.
Yes.
The Alfa. That's like the Alfa is still at the garage.
Yeah. But it's ready to pick up.
Right. So, Martin apparently duped me into doing another trip to go and get the Alfa under the guise of doing a review on a Skoda Fabia, which is the Garage 21 hire car that he's had now for 3 months.
Yeah, just shy of. But in my defence, it is 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, so it's not as though I dragged you out of bed.
So, now I know where we're going, and you should have a pretty good idea from the previous video. We are going all the way up the M1, then probably the M62 and to Bradford.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, this is the whole debate. Is it Bradford? Is it Halifax? We're going towards one, aren't we? Going
same, but very different.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's not offend anyone. Yeah, going up to Garage 21. The Alfa has had an absolute raft of work done to it, which I'm sure we can talk about. But yeah, this will be the first time I've seen it. Interestingly, some of the followers have seen it because they messaged me alright to say there's a
Should probably explain more about it. Since the little videos I've been in the past where we've got some exhaust notes of the car going past. That was all with the stock back box. It now has a slightly fruitier stainless back box.
Yeah, there's a Ragazon back box and a whole new exhaust actually. But basically from the cats down, I believe, was completely redone. And it had 2 cats. I didn't realise that 166 said 2 cats, so it basically needed a whole new exhaust from the back there. So yeah.
So that means we're going to treat the viewers to full large bore Lusso V6 noises.
Yes, please. Yes, please. So what do you want to talk about first? Because obviously we're in this car. And we're going up to collect an infinitely better car, but or is that giving too much away?
Well, everybody knows what we're going to collect. So I guess we'd start with, well, how big was the bill? I think is probably the most important bit.
Okay, so there's two answers to this one, because it's how big was the quote and how big was the bill. So Garage 21 are a very thorough garage. The car went up there for its full inspection of absolutely everything. I perhaps thought that maybe because it had been a different specialist last year, that it wouldn't be as bad as it was going to be. So the quote was £6,000.
Ouch!
Yes.
This is great and amusing for me, because it's normally me that has bills that are 4 figures.
Plus that. So in the end, actually, what's happening is that I've decided I couldn't make the maths work completely, so it's going over in 2 stages. So stage 1 is this year, all the work's just been done, which is about half of the work, and then stage 2, which will be effectively it will need a clutch and a dual mass flywheel removal kit, and rust proofing underneath it. That's all happening next MOT basically.
So you'll have it for spring, winter, autumn, and then it will go back in.
Yeah.
For another 3-month stay.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully this will be a little bit less sort of I suppose dubious. The thing that caught them, and the thing that essentially sent it away for a long time, was that unfortunately when they were doing their full inspection of the car, they noticed pretty quickly that the head gasket would need replacing. What they also then had to do was then send the block off essentially to the cylinder heads to essentially check for no scoring or damage there as well. So actually they didn't have the car for quite a few weeks while that was going on as well. So, and while that was out, it then meant it was prudent to probably do the cam belt, water pump, auxiliary belt at the same time, which had been done about 30,000 miles ago. But anybody who has an Alfa Romeo will know that realistically, Alfa say change them every sort of, I think it's 40,000 for 5 years, and it was done about 4 years ago, so there was no point not doing it while it was out. So that obviously added to the bill, where I didn't expect there to be issues, but I'm glad that they inspected it.
It's one of those things that you really can't do it regularly enough, so the engine's going to be in pieces.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like that bill's coming, but that's good. It means it's had a pretty hefty overhaul.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing to couple with that is that, we'll see Chris when we get up there, and I've got some photos that I'm sure we can put in the video. They gave me some photos of the underside of the car. They said the rust proofing is worth doing in the future, but actually it's not bad underneath. Apparently early 166s were better in terms of rust proofing, which is a bit weird to think, because that was essentially
Italians skimping on things.
Mid-90s Italian car, and it's okay. So yeah, I was pleased about that. There were some cosmetic bits I wanted to get done. So there was a wing that I wanted to get replaced on the car.
You decided not to do that, right?
I decided that would be prudent to not put on this bill, because essentially, it was
man maths.
Yeah, man maths. Then my wife found out and made me put it back on the quote.
Your wife insisted they do more work on the car.
She didn't want the wing to come back with the car. She was determined it could not come back to our house. So, I'm not one to argue, so I reluctantly accepted her decision.
Sounds like she should keep them.
Absolutely. So that was done, but even then, when they found the wing, so the wing that was on it, it'll be up there. I'm hoping that they might just keep it. I don't want anything for it. It was starting to bubble and rust. I think where the car had an accident before. I don't think that's the original wing. But when they took it off, they found actually quite a lot of the clips and various sort of connection points for the wing had rusted or corroded and actually needed remaking. So he's had to remake the clips.
So it's not a case of bolting a new wing on, it's fabrication and bolting.
Correct, absolutely. So that's been done as well. Alfa Romeos have a quirk that the steering wheel doesn't sit flush, even if you do it's the exact right amount of notches. So he's had to play with that as well on the interior.
What effect does that have, Mike?
Hark back to the last video. So quite near the right place.
Yep.
Oh, that didn't sound nice.
Nope, that sounded like a top mount was loose.
Did it?
Yeah. Nice and quiet in here.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else has been done. I can bring up the full quote in a bit, but it's, I think, ultimately it was, I think we've had to do the front discs and pads as well. Rear tyres needed doing for the MOT. I'm trying to think what else was on the bill.
It's pretty quite interesting to point out. So it seems like an awful lot of work for what most people would probably keep as a weekend car, but your intention is actually to use the Alfa 166 as a daily driver, basically.
Yeah, it is the second car. It does about 8,000 miles to 10,000 miles a year, which for most people I think is probably the mileage of their actual car.
Yeah, I love that your second car does 8,000 miles.
Yeah, no, exactly. The main car does about 30,000, but ultimately sometimes it's one's an automatic, one's a manual. My wife's not that happy driving manuals at the moment for various reasons, so sometimes I press that into work action, for so she can have the insignia. Worth pointing out, actually, in terms of I don't want to call them the layman, but the person on the street, it's got a private plate on it. They're probably not aware that it's a 20-year-old car, and particularly
20 years old already.
20 years old, 21 this year, and from the back, I think it's actually a very smart-looking vehicle. So it's well, and the front for me, but from the back, I think it's pretty ageless. It just has that Alfa Romeo shape.
Quite a lot of Italian cars age very well, I think. So yeah, it's a bit of a timeless classic, really, the 166.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's we're excited to see it again, but hopefully there'll be a few more up there as well. I'm trying to think what else I need to tell you, but I think I'll send you over a copy of the invoices so you can add it to the.
Just scroll the invoice for the video for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. But the nice thing about it, and this is where I think it's nice that Chris is so thorough. One of the other reasons why he's had it for an extra week is that he has put 100 miles on the car just because he didn't do the cylinder head work. So he's put the MOT on it and driven it for 100 miles to make sure he's happy with it. I think that's something that most garages take a leaf out of that book, because how many times do you get some work done and then 5 miles later you think they didn't check this is perfect. So I'm pleased about that. So it'd be really good to see it.
No, it's good to it'd be properly run in as well. It means you don't have to worry about anything. He's tested it all out. We should be good to go, which is good because we've got to come back today. Yeah,
I'm thinking if we just start it up, redline it straight away, just to check that it's definitely warm, and then leave.
We're not going to do that. Before you bleep bloop in the comment, what are these idiots doing?
Yeah, I don't dare.
They're probably going to put that anyway.
Yes, but I am looking forward to replacing your Twitter, that Twitter short that you upload of the Alfa from when I had a puncture in a lay-by about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. I'm looking forward to replacing that. We can replace that today.
We can do like a before and after exhaust notes.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it has changed significantly. Watch it sound exactly the same.
So we are back in the Alfa. What's it like to be back in your favourite car, Martin?
Well, it's eerily quiet compared to the Skoda we've just come through. You can instantly tell. So first of all, they did say that the steering wheel probably isn't going to fit completely flush, so there might still be some squeaking that you hear. Just let's get that elephant in the room out of the way.
Squeak.
But I'll tell you what. You can tell when they've done obviously the cylinder heads, they put the head gasket, replace the head gasket, put the new belt on, and you can and the biggest issue, airflow. They've changed the air pipe.
Oh yeah, I'll insert a video now of the state of the intake hose that came off this guy. Martin, I think I might have found the problem.
I know that's how they were built. And now it's just the delivery is so smooth. It's obviously we're not revving the nuts off it because it's only done 100 miles since it was all put back together. But we'll gradually ease it in. But my gosh, it just you can tell whenever you put your foot down, there's something there ready to go.
Smooth. It's so smooth. I mean, it always drove very nicely before.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, the air leak made it a little bit lumpy.
Yes.
The idle hunted a little bit, but I don't know. It feels like a much newer car all of a sudden, that smoothness of the V6 it's not to be overlooked.
It's definitely quieter than it used to be as well.
And now we're about to join the M62 because for some reason your sat nav doesn't like the 606,
No.
which is an excellent, very short motorway. There's a great video on that here.
There is.
Hello and welcome to Auto Shenanigans. How the devil are you? Have you had a good week? My name is John. Thank you very much for joining me for another exciting episode of Secrets of the Motorway. I'm still in Yorkshire. They won't let me leave, and this week I've come to Bradford.
How the devil are you? It's, yeah, no,
Wicked, sweet, awesome, my friend.
he's great. I like that guy. But yes, we're about to hit the M62. We'll then hit the M1. So there's not really an opportunity to give it a proper
No,
stretch anyhow,
because there looks to be
roadworks,
expect delay.
traffics and major works from 16th of Jan. Expect delay. Not delays, just the one delay.
Just one delay.
One
so
delay.
we were told we need to be very careful with the car, and the temptation to just kind of hear it and want to know what it sounds like isn't going to be a problem, because the M62 is going to solve all that problem for us by making us sit in very slow moving traffic.
Absolutely. So what we'll do instead is we will tell you how, when conservatively driving a 3-litre Busso manual, what your average miles per gallon is from essentially Bradford to Loughborough. So this is now a consumer test.
So we should talk a little bit about where we have taken Martin's Alfa. So we've gone to a lovely place called Garage 21, which you will see obviously featured in the previous video and in the review of a Skoda Fabia, which was the courtesy car that Martin's had for nearly 3 months.
Yeah, which we found out today has been in Paul, the other mechanic there, has been in his family for 10 years, that courtesy car. So it's actually, it's sort of having its second life as a courtesy car.
I refuse to believe that was a mechanic's car. It was in far too good a condition to be a mechanic's car. Right, I'm going to clip the next bit out of the video because I'm going to make lots of noise. So, Garage 21, as a result of Martin being a very valued customer, because he spent a small fortune there getting the Alfa fixed, and he's now already booked in for next year for another small fortune, they gave us both a little present. How cool is that?
It's one of the best logos. It's just so clever.
Isn't it just? So you'll have seen this featured in the previous video when we took the car up. When they presented with a cup of tea, which was very nice of them, I couldn't help but notice the logo on the teacup, and that had to be the feature picture for the video. So you've got an Alfa Romeo logo, but instead of having a cross here, looks like St George's cross actually,
yeah,
and a little snake here, what you've got is a welding torch and a screwdriver and a spanner.
Very clever.
Which feels very appropriate.
Yeah,
while we're talking about the Alfa Romeo badge, I did notice the badge on the front of this Alfa Romeo does need a little bit of attention. So while we were there, Rachel from Garage 21 sorted us out with a little birthday present for Martin. These are very, very hard to come by. There's about 10 of them left in the country. We've got a brand new badge for the Alfa 166.
I genuinely didn't know about that. Thank you very much. Which is funny, because I think whilst you were doing that, I was having a conversation with Chris about the best way to get that off. I've been told, that's really ironic, I've been told it's a 7-day process to remove the Alfa Romeo badge.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Well, apparently on day 1 you apply WD-40 to the 4 bolts, on day 2 you apply WD-40 to the 4 bolts, and the whole, then on day 7 you can do it, but it's the whole triangle grille comes out. And then you get a hairdryer or heat gun and take the old one off.
Yeah, so it's on 2 little pins with a double-sided sticky. Apparently Alfa stopped making these. This is new old stock. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, happy birthday, Martin.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It's genuinely caught me off guard. That was lovely. But yes, I do know how to take it off. So but it does sound like I might need to do it over a course of 7 days.
Yes.
To wet the bolts, essentially. To wet the nuts.
Looks like we need to get you some penetrant oil, maybe to use on the steering wheel as well. You can lubricate that at the same time.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, the way they made it out. But they did say that ultimately it was the wrong torque setting, and it's just not sitting flush as it should.
Yeah.
But I'm not particularly precious about it. We'll see if I can cope with it.
Totally. The problem to all these squeaky moanies, it's a bit of Vaseline. Solves many problems.
But yeah, so we're currently getting to try out 2nd and 3rd gear quite a lot on the M62.
They definitely work.
They do, absolutely. And we're averaging 25.5 to the gallon because we've not managed to get a single bit of straight, easy road yet. So.
No. Right, well, is that everything we need to talk about on the Alfa?
I think so. I think it's just a case of now we'll maybe do a little bit of a update at some point. Maybe take it on another road trip or something if we want, I guess, so that we can keep it on the channel for a bit.
Should we? I mean, what might be a good place to do a road trip is somewhere that seems to have lots of funny names in quite a small location, like, I don't know, the place we've just been.
Absolutely. Why, did you find some on your way, John?
We did spot a few things.
There's one that made me laugh quite a lot. But, yes, no, you're.
We'll save that
right.
one for another video.
Absolutely. But yes, I agree. I concur.
I concur, sir.
I concur, sir.
Right. M62, M1, Lou stop, home. Thank you for watching this episode of Automotive Tales. If you want to see more stories of us playing with cars, doing road trips, there's plenty more to have, and we're probably going to record a podcast now because we have a car buying challenge to solve for somebody. So keep an eye on the channel for that, and we'll see you again soon. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
There's a button specifically for that, and if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. That'll be wicked, sweet, awesome.
That'll lose a filming angle, right?